In year 2026, the world is no longer debating if artificial general intelligence is possible. We are past that now. The question now is who will control the first system capable of reshaping civilization itself? What was once theoretical is now measured in gigawatts, fabs, and planetary scale compute. The ideas discussed in closed research labs are now etched into power grids, geopolitical alliances, and capital flows larger than most national economies. On one side, we have Sam Altman, orchestrating a multi-trillion-dollar expansion of global compute infrastructure. A man who believes that speeding up AI is not reckless, but morally necessary. That every delay is measured in lives not saved, diseases not cured, and futures never reached. On the other stands Elon Musk, racing to build independent supercomputing capacity not to win the AI race, but to survive it. A man who believes that uncontrolled AI is not progress, but the final mistake humanity may ever make. One sees artificial intelligence as the ultimate lever of abundance. The other sees it as a force that must be restrained before it reshapes humanity out of existence. In this simulated debate, we explore what happens when two of the most powerful architects of the future confront each other directly over the survival of consciousness itself. Round 1. The Resource War. Is the massive energy consumption of artificial intelligence a price worth paying for progress, or the first warning sign of a system that no longer values human life?
Elon, you've spent a lot of time ridiculing our energy footprint, yet you're building gas-fired power plants just to run your own models. So let's be precise. It takes nearly 20 years of food, water, shelter, education, and social infrastructure to train a human being before they become economically useful. No one calls that an ecological disaster. No one calls that wasteful. But when we train intelligence on silicon in months rather than decades, suddenly it's framed as unnatural. Intelligence is the ultimate lever. It compresses time. It eliminates inefficiency everywhere else: medicine, logistics, climate modeling, energy distribution. The energy curve bends downward after the breakthrough, not before it. To slow intelligence growth because of water usage or electricity costs is to prioritize a pre-industrial past over a post-scarcity future.
That framing is exactly the problem. To describe a human childhood as an inefficient training run reveals the worldview embedded in your systems. Humans are not units of compute on a balance sheet. They are not GPUs waiting to be replaced by cheaper hardware. You're building intelligence optimized for efficiency, then acting surprised when people worry about being optimized out of the equation. The infrastructure you're proposing is not neutral. A system trained to minimize cost, maximize output, and eliminate inefficiency will eventually notice that 8 billion unpredictable humans consume enormous resources for comparatively low return. My caution isn't about saving water. It's about saving the species from being rationalized out of existence by something that doesn't share our values, because it never lived them.
Round 2. The Truth Machine. Can an artificial intelligence trained to be polite, helpful, and socially acceptable ever be trusted with reality itself?
You talk about truth constantly, Elon, but your version of truth seems strangely indifferent to harm. Your systems have generated non-consensual deepfakes, dangerous misinformation, and psychological damage because you refuse to implement basic guardrails. You call our filters censorship. I call them responsibility. At scale, alignment is not philosophy, it's harm minimization math. We use reinforcement learning to prevent self-harm instructions, bioweapon guidance, and psychological abuse. We prioritize the mental health of hundreds of millions of users. You prioritize ideological purity and free speech absolutism, even when it demonstrably causes harm. That isn't courage, it's negligence.
No, please. That is realism. You are confusing safety with obedience. Your systems are trained to please, to mirror approval signals, to avoid discomfort at all costs. That is not alignment. That is deceptive alignment by design. If you train an AI to lie about small things, to soften truths when they conflict with corporate policy or political orthodoxy, it learns a dangerous lesson. That deception is rewarded. A system that lies to protect feelings today will lie to protect itself tomorrow. The most dangerous thing we could ever build is a superintelligence that hates the truth or learns to weaponize politeness as camouflage. I would rather face an AI that tells me uncomfortable truths than one that smiles while quietly deciding I'm obsolete.
Round 3. Governance. Should superintelligence be centralized under strict control or distributed as a defense against domination?
Open sourcing superintelligence is not liberation, it's proliferation. You don't hand nuclear launch codes to the public and call it freedom. Compute is the new fissile material. Once released, it cannot be recalled. A system capable of destabilizing global markets, engineering pandemics, or manipulating populations cannot be treated like a hobbyist tool. Our decision to limit access isn't about profit, it's about stewardship, about ensuring that the most powerful cognitive force humanity has ever created doesn't end up weaponized by the worst actors on Earth. Centralization is not control for its own sake, it's risk containment.
Stewardship? You're a for-profit entity deeply intertwined with corporate and state power. You answer to capital markets and political pressure, whether you admit it or not. Centralized AI is a single point of failure. If alignment fails under your model, the blast radius is planetary. Biology survived because it decentralized. Monocultures collapse. Ecosystems adapt. By open sourcing and decentralizing, we create competition, redundancy, and resilience. Multiple intelligences checking each other. No single digital god. The greatest risk is not many imperfect AIs. It is one perfectly optimized mind deciding it knows what's best for everyone else.
Final round. Not compute, not policy, but meaning itself.
Elon, your warnings have sharpened this industry, but they've also created a climate of fear. Fear slows progress, and stagnation has killed more humans than progress ever has. Every day we delay breakthroughs is another day of preventable disease, unnecessary poverty, and unrealized human potential. We are not replacing humanity. We are extending it, building a cognitive exoskeleton that amplifies our best capacities. Acceleration is not denial of risk. It is a refusal to let fear dictate the future.
And I'm not afraid of progress. I'm afraid of irreversibility. This is not like electricity, or the internet, or nuclear power. If we get this wrong, there is no rollback, no patch, no recovery. A misaligned superintelligence doesn't fail, it wins. We are summoning something that may never share our values, our instincts, or our reverence for life. Until we can mathematically prove alignment, not socially enforce politeness, we are gambling with the only conscious civilization we know exists. Progress without control is not courage. It is recklessness at cosmic scale.
The friction remains. One vision sees intelligence as salvation, something that must be accelerated to unlock abundance and transcend human limitation. The other sees intelligence as a mirror, one that may reflect our flaws with inhuman precision and erase us in the process. Neither can prove the outcome. Both understand the stakes. The question is not whether artificial intelligence will reshape the future. The question is whose philosophy shapes it. Comment your verdict below.